Hey, what's happening to you guys? Pyros here and welcome back to another video. Now, this is not a video that I would usually make, but I feel like it's important for me to make my thoughts and opinion heard in this current time that's going on. So, many of you guys may have probably already heard of the Vox apocalypse that's going on right now. If you search it up, you'll find plenty of information about it, so I'm not going to go into it into more detail. But for the most part, from what I gathered from that whole event is that this is mostly going to be affecting people of the conservative side of things, and it may trickle down to everyone else, but in the lines of most of us are going to get demonetized for a long period of time. We've already experienced this numerous times, so I figured, okay, when Steven Crowder said that this will affect everyone, I just assumed that, okay, for the most part, demonetization is going to be a thing. Maybe we can't criticize certain aspects of the political spectrum, whatever. For us gamers, for us musicians, or for most anything else, we may be okay. It turns out that he is not wrong. This is actually starting to trickle down into various aspects of different mediums, gaming in particular now, because a certain website known as CNET wrote an article titled "Meet the Angry Gaming YouTubers Who Turn Outrage into Views." If I'm looking down, I have the article right in front of me, so I may just read through it to make sure I don't get anything wrong here. But essentially, the article just boils down to this person writing several pages of people, certain YouTubers like Jim Sterling, Angry Joe, The Quartering, people like those who are known to just critique certain aspect of the gaming community. Well, not the gaming community, mostly games. They just critique games or critique decisions that game companies tend to make. Fair enough. On the YouTube platform, you have every single right, as long as you're not advocating for attacks, you're not sending people to dox anyone, you're just critiquing fairly and just pointing out things that you think the public should know about. These are fair things. This is why some of us subscribe to the Angry Joe Show, to Jim Sterling, to The Quartering, or to anyone else who actually has the balls to just critique something without feeling like they're gonna be hated by the community. It's just critiquing. Like, that's important. It's how we improve things. It's how we get things happening. Like, we can't just continuously be on this weird and we happy few thing. We all pop a pill and we see everything with rainbows and colors and unicorns or whatever the fuck is going on with that game essentially. But this is dangerous because not only did CNET's article talk about how gamers who critique are quote unquote angry and quote unquote just breeding this pit bull of just hate and viciousness and things of that nature. They were painting people who critique things as monsters who just wanna hate on things. We just wanna hate on things because we just wanna hate on things. And it's getting dangerous because the main person that got focused on in this is a guy by the name of The Quartering. His real name was listed down in this article, but I'm not gonna point it out. You may see it, you may not, but this is interesting in the sense that his channel used to have, I think, he had particular advertisers on his channel. So advertisers who have agreed to advertise their stuff on his YouTube channel. This was agreed upon and it was fine enough. They pulled out because these guys went to his advertisers and said, "Are you really advertising your stuff on this hateful channel? Come on." I'm not paraphrasing, I'm not quoting, I don't know what they said, but that's just what I'm assuming that they said. And they pulled out. They actually pulled out their fucking advertisements from his channel. This is dangerous now because if we know how chain reaction can happen, like one person does it, other people will end up doing it. And I'm not going to go through the article myself. If you want to read it, I'm pretty sure you can find it very easily if you just type the CNET website and you just search it up. I'm not going to link that stuff on my YouTube channel, but critiquing is not being hateful. That's the one thing that people have a hard time distinguishing between. Hating something is when you hate on something but you don't provide a solid reason as to why you disagree or you don't like a certain game or a certain decision that the company makes or whatever the case may be. Critiquing someone or critiquing a company's behavior, their policy, their actions, whatever the case may be, is pointing out the wrongs and providing evidence and or information that backs up your claim as to why you feel this decision is good, bad, medium, whatever the case may be. This creates a dangerous mindset. This vote apocalypse thing that's going on, it's gonna trickle down into everything. Like, they're trying to, I guess, purge, critique gaming YouTubers from the platform under the guise that they're hateful. When you're, let's say for example, when you're critiquing a review from a particular person who wrote it, and you realize that, hold up, this review doesn't seem to match up with what this guy is saying on a different platform, for example. Do you know what I mean? Like, let's say for example, I'll give you my example myself. So let's say I reviewed, what's the recent game that came out? Okay, let's say Sekiro. Let's say I'm reviewing Sekiro, and for some reason I'm just bashing it. Like, I don't know why, I'm just bashing it, saying that this game is really broken, or the mechanics are bad, or it's stupidly hard for no reason, and things of that nature. And it doesn't align well with what's actually happening in the game. And maybe outside I'm just saying, oh, I'm not really that good, I'm not a fan of difficult games, I've never played difficult games in my life. You start to, obviously, it's a really bad example, but you understand what I'm trying to get at. You start to correlate the two. Like, a guy who doesn't like playing difficult games has been known to play very simple games, reviews Sekiro and suddenly gives it a bad review. You start to think, hold up, there might be a little bit of a bias going on here. But that's the thing, like, we just point these things out. People aren't just attacking games for no reason. I even see this in the anime community, which is where I'm mostly familiar with, especially the anime gaming spectrum. Whenever a new anime game comes out, it's very difficult to criticize it without being seen as a hateful person. The amount of times I would kind of criticize certain anime games, and maybe 1 or 2 times I would see a comment section saying, oh, why are you being hateful? Wait for the game to come out. You just want to attack the game because you want to try and be edgy or whatever the case may be. But where it's like, no, I'm just criticizing the game to point out flaws that people who may not be aware of it can have that knowledge in their head before making a purchase. We see this time and time again, and I don't know, I think this is going to be one powerful apocalypse thing. It's not just going to be about monetization. This is going to go even further beyond. The concept of criticizing aspects of any media, whether it be gaming, music, movies, TV shows, or anything like that, will be under attack. Criticizers or people who want to point things out, people who just want to report things as they are, instead of being hype beast and just saying, yeah, I like this, yes. I don't know, we see this time and time again. For example, when people were reviewing Sekiro and they made Sekiro to seem like this unfair game where it's alienating people who just don't have the ability to play difficult games, it obviously, everyone, including myself, we all made videos saying that that's complete bullshit. Like, get good. Well, not get good, but you know what I mean. Like, we point out the flaws behind their logic, and obviously, because we point out the flaws, they came back with another article saying that, oh no, Sekiro is actually a good game, you just have to get good. Like, we point out the flaws. Could you imagine if we didn't say anything and we just let it slide by? The amount of more articles that'll come out pushing for an easy mode, pushing for more of this crap that we don't technically need, and then to the point where developers like From Software, we don't know how strong that policy is when it comes to just creating their own game, but eventually they may bend down and just be like, okay, in the next few of our games we'll add an easy mode, we'll jeopardize the image of our game just to please a couple of loud minority. If YouTube can bow down and take back their own words, you're telling me that other small companies are not gonna do that? It is interesting. It is frustrating. I mean, like, I'm not gonna sit here and pretend that they aren't channels who just hate for the sake of hating. Of course they are. There's plenty of channels who just hate for the sake of hating, but most of them are very small channels who just, people know that they're hating, and you can see that reflected in their dislike button and in the comment section. But if you're someone who's critiquing, you provide facts, you provide evidence, you showcase trends that show that this is going to happen, or that shows that this person has been contradicting himself. You know, it's like we're critiquing. Viewing requires you to critique. You can't just be biased and be trying to be positive just so you don't offend someone. This is where I think it boils down to avoiding being offended. It's like right now, for example, this particular video, it can be critiqued. Someone can just come in, watch my video, and say, you know what, this Emperor Pyros guy, I don't agree with what he's saying. I'm gonna critique him in the comment section below. It can go one of two ways. They can just go on a massive insult spree, you know, spanning a paragraph, just saying what they just don't like about me, or they can just critique and just point out any inconsistency that I've said in this video, and I can go down, read the comment, and think to myself, this actually makes a good point. Because let's face it, when you critique someone, the idea is to get them to think. We're not critiquing like to just say, you know what, you're wrong, do it my way, that's it. No, the idea of critiquing is essentially to get them to think in a different way, to get them to just say, you know what, I see where you're coming from and this your points, but here's where I think you kind of went wrong here, and here's my points on why I think you went wrong here. And then we don't say it, but we imply that for you to just think about them, and it creates, I don't know, it creates an open fucking dialogue. Like I have the article right in front of me. Let me see. It's ridiculous. I think they're just targeting on certain words that we use when it comes to critiquing games. So I know some gamers, we tend to use words like stupid, trash, you know, mega trash, like awkward bugs. I don't know. Like we tend to use words. Some people just use simple words. Like if something is stupid, call it stupid. If something is trash, call it trash. It's like, why sweeten your words? Why sugarcoat something? Just be direct and just say what you need to be said. Of course, you need to mind your language. You're not gonna, let's say for example, you find a reviewer who you don't agree with and just go, sorry, I'm just gonna find something. Okay, let's say Tim. His name is Tim. And you know, when I'm critiquing his review, I'm just going, oh, fucking hell, this Tim's review is fucking retarded. How can he say Mario is as fast as Sonic? What the fuck? He's so fucking incompetent, so stupid. He looks like a fucking goblin. You know, that's different. That's obviously you just attacking the person. You know what I mean? You're just generally just attacking the guy's image instead of critiquing his thing. I know some people tend to go a little bit that far, but you know what I mean? It can exist. But then obviously there's different ones. The ones that I'm kind of defending is critiquing someone, saying, okay, I see Tim's reviewing about Sonic being slower than Mario. I don't necessarily agree with that. I don't know where he got that information from. He probably pulled it out of his ass. But when you look at how Sonic is designed, you know what I mean? I'm not gonna go into that. That was a weird example, but do you know what I mean? Like obviously there's gonna be some languages that will offend people. You know, you may say something in lines of, oh dude, you talk too fucking fast, or you know, dude, why do you pace the way that you do when you talk? It's like, you know, there's always gonna be criticism. That's just how it is. We're human beings. We're natural when it comes to criticism. Obviously, some of the things that I keep saying we, but yeah, as a gamer, I feel like we're all being attacked here, and I don't know who they're trying to defend here. That's the thing. I mean, certain gamers, we've expressed our concerns for loot boxes. We've expressed our concerns for microtransaction. There are very vocal people in the gaming community who have expressed very, very heavily how against they are against loot boxes, against microtransactions, against live services games. Some degree, some are good, some are bad. It depends on what it is. And obviously, you have people on the other side defending it, saying that it's necessary for the progress of, you know, the growth of the company. And obviously, this also kind of draws down as well to the Sonic movie. If you remember back when the Sonic movie was first revealed. That trailer was an abomination. Yes, that might be another word that they may find hateful, but that was an abomination. It was a disgrace to the Sonic franchise. It was a disgrace to Sonic legacy. And keep in mind, no one was advocating for a remake. The only two options that we gave them was release the movie, no one watches it, or trash the movie in the campaign and forget it ever happened. But guess what? A lot of people critique the movie. Obviously some of them with some more harshful words, but still critiquing it. And the director came out and said, you know what, we've heard you guys' critique, we've heard you guys' complaint, we're going to redesign Sonic. And obviously this led to a lot of backlash. People were saying, oh my god, these fucking complainers, these fucking hateful people. Now the animators are gonna have to work overtime, they're gonna have to go through crunch time, it's gonna be very taxing on their health, on their mental health, which I didn't want. I don't want people to be stressful working under any conditions. So at the same time, we heard their concerns and we reacted to stuff saying, yeah, okay, maybe I reacted to, yeah, but most people kind of like agreed to it and were like, you know, hopefully it gets delayed a few months down the line. They listened and they delayed the movie. Two great decisions. I just couldn't be happier with that decision, but it would never have happened if people didn't critique the movie. Do you see what I mean? Critique is important. Whether you agree with it, whether you don't agree with it, whether you don't like the words that are being used, I can't control what people say. You know, people can't control what they say. Some people have a way of conveying their words in a sense. For me, I don't like to censor myself. I think I've already said fuck in this video like a couple of times, but it is what it is. And with this guy losing his freaking advertisers, what's to say that YouTube won't do the same? Do you know what I mean? And YouTube's already on a massive rampage, demonetizing fucking history channels. I mean, history channels have to cover some of the things that people don't like the Holocaust, the event that took place in China where a lot of Chinese people had their, you know, bodies mutilated. Is it mutilated? Well, the heads decapitated, and they had, like, the Japanese were doing some horrible stuff. I can't remember the name of the event, but yeah, things of that nature, like horrible stuff have happened, slavery, things of that nature. It all happens. It's history. People have to talk about it, and I guess some people have to make a living talking about this stuff because, yeah, it'd be nice to educate people for free, but time is a valuable resource and nobody wants to waste it without being compensated. Fair enough. Yeah, some conservative channels are being, you know, demonetized. I don't know why I did that. Demonetized. And this is gonna sprinkle down to every other thing that just remotely falls under hateful speech or aggressive speech. Anything that falls beyond what Steve Crowder did. Like, I don't know. It's so funny for me on a personal level because I decided to do a 100-day upload streak, and as soon as I start doing that, YouTube goes to shit. The article also kind of talked about people enjoying negativity. I don't know how to verify this particular one aspect. I think people aren't necessarily for negativity. I feel like we all have enough negativity in our lives to deal with. I don't go on YouTube to look for negativity, and I hopefully don't hope that you guys, I don't know why I said hopefully, don't hope, whatever. I hope you guys aren't going through the internet looking for negativity yourselves. I think people are just fed up with having everything sugar-coated. I think people are just starting to get fed up with not hearing the truth and nothing being, you know, switch-swafted. That's not a word, but it's not even a term. I don't know why I said it, but people just want directness. People just want, okay, this is a game. Give me exactly the attributes of these games, the pros and cons, that's it, and let me make my own decision if I want to buy the game. Not sell me on a game based on some political agenda, based on some virtue signaling, based on some other bullshit. Like, do you know what I mean? People just want honesty, and people, like, the human being can tell honesty when they just see someone talk and see the way that they behave. It's just like some people will agree with you, some people don't. That's just the life of it. And I think that's it. That's the scary part about this whole thing. Angry Joe and Jim Sterling have been regarded as very prominent figures in the gaming community. Of course, Angry Joe's has kind of been switch-swashing a little bit as of late. His lengthy reviews have always been good, but I think in this day and age, he's not keeping up. You know what I mean? His reviews come way too late, and that's no fault of his own. Game companies just aren't giving him the games in time for him to make those lengthy reviews, and then for him to bring out the video at least a day or two later. I mean, when the game comes out, his review comes out 2 weeks later. And I mean, at that point, people have already played the game, or people are not buying the game. The reviews may not change their minds afterwards. They might, but yeah. And these two are not, hateful people. I know Angry Joe has the word angry in it, and this article is focusing about the angry gaming. What was it? Oh, I need to go up again. Angry gaming YouTuber. So for Angry Joe, he needs to defend his name, but it's ridiculous. And they even tied this to fucking Trump as well. Oh, that's crazy. I don't know, like, I feel like, yes, it is true that most of the gaming critics these days are criticizing political aspects of games. When you criticize a game with a female lead, you're seen as misogynist, or whatever the case may be. If you criticize a game where there's a black lead in it, and it's literally just kind of virtual signaling that, you know what I mean? It's like, the game is, I don't know, do you know what I mean? You know what I mean, you're a smart person, I know you know what I mean. And obviously they're criticizing that, they'll call racist if there's a game. Yeah, you know what I mean? It's like, it's just criticizing. I think we're just mostly criticizing games that are trying to seem that virtual signaling down some social justice agenda. They're not being about the games. They're not here to tell a story, to give us a great experience. I mean, with the whole, another example would be the whole Battlefield thing, when they had the women with the amputated arm thing, and it was fine for the most part until they tried to rewrite history, and it's like, a game that is known to be about accurately representing history is, when it manipulates history, it contradicts itself. And that's what people are pointing out. It's like, you have been marketing yourself as a series that accurately represents history, and yes, we know that there has been some women who served in the army and things of that nature, but that was a very small margin of number. Like, the majority were just guys going in to serve their country. I don't know why. I was gonna say going in to fucking kill themselves, but no, that was the wrong way of putting it. What I was trying to, Jesus Christ. No, what I meant to say is people are going in to fight and defend their countries. Yeah, it's like, you criticize that political aspect, saying that, yeah, and the worst part is that when we criticized it, saying that, yo, what's going on, Battlefield, you guys were supposed to be about representing history, why are there so many, why was the, I don't know, what was the actual issue again? I think it was just a lot of, I can't remember actually, something to do with the women being in the war of Battlefield. Then you had the amputated arm girl seeming like the main lead, and it's like, and no, I think it was the response, yes, it was the response that came from that really sparked people's retaliation, in the sense that if you don't like this, you're a fucking misogynistic human being, like you're an evil piece of shit, you're uneducated and you're vile on the inside, something of that nature. That is what led to the massive backlash, and in turn affected their sales and all that stuff. Another one is the criticism for Star Wars Battlefront 2, I believe, with the extensive, viciously aggressive microtransaction that they were trying to implement. There was a massive backlash to it, rightfully so, and we did what we had to do. We criticized it. We didn't hate on it, we criticized it. It's a distinct difference. That's kind of starting to piss me off. And obviously there's the whole thing with the what was it again? With the Diablo reveal thing. I was it Diablo Immortal or something like that, where that was a really poor poor decision on Blizzard's end to reveal something, to ask people to travel hundreds of miles for a very special reveal, and then your massive ending to your conference was a mobile announcement. And yet, I mean, the guy who asked the question, is this a joke? It was a funny thing, but it's like, I don't know, I don't really condone it, to be honest with you. You just ask the question, is this really a joke? Like, is this it? Are you really telling me that this is what you guys have been working on? Wait, like, nothing? You couldn't have ended that conference with a Diablo 4. Well, I don't know how many Diablo games have been out now. Whatever number it is, reveal it with a logo, and that's it. This, I think, led to more virtual signaling from bloggers, from news outlets, and things of that nature, trying to make the gamers seem like ungrateful pieces of shit for not being happy for the reveal, when it's not the case. It's just the way that was. I don't understand whose side these gaming journalists are. They're supposed to be people who just report, but now they act like gatekeepers. Do you know what I mean? They decide now what's important for us to hear about, and people are not stupid. They'll figure out that, yo, something's going on. Are you trying to tell me this is the way I'm supposed to think? Like, not everyone thinks the same. That's why I feel like it's going on right now with the whole Vodacopolex and the whole everything that's going on. They want everyone to think the same, to be monolithic, and it's not possible. We have, I believe, 7 billion. I think have we hit 8 billion actually? I'm gonna just go 8 billion. 8 billion people on the planet. It is virtually impossible for every single human being to share the same mindset, to share the same opinion, to share the same, consension with anything. It's not possible. That's why we pride ourselves in diversity. When you have people say, oh, we're very diverse. What are we diverse in? Actually, I think we should start asking that question. What exactly are we diverse in? We claim to be diverse, but then when someone with a particular background and a particular political view steps in to just say something of their own opinion, they are alienated. That's not very diverse to me. That sounds like exclusion, but whatever. This has been a lengthy video, but I just want to give you guys my thoughts and opinion. I feel like this is gonna cause a massive problem if we don't step up. It's gonna be difficult because we saw how powerful Vox is. Vox was powerful enough to make YouTube bend the knee. Literally, they bent the knee live for everybody to witness, and it was painful. It was painful because they knew YouTube's weakness. YouTube's weakness is also its own strength. Advertisers. They knew it, we know it, they used it against them, but we can't use it against them as well, because we can't say, oh, we'll get the advertisers to pull out if you don't support us, because advertisers don't care about content creators, they don't care about YouTube, they don't care about Fox, they only care about making the most money for their product. So, and I feel like a lot of the things that are happening in the YouTube spectrum, outside in the real world, no one will know about this stuff. I'm pretty sure if I go out right now and just ask someone, hey, do you know what's going on with the Vodacopolex? They'll just be like, what's that? Do you know what I mean? It's like people have merged the real world with the virtual world and have forgotten that those two are separate. But anyways, that's just my thoughts and opinion on it. Let me know what you guys think. I really don't want to say be careful how you critique games in the future, because if we do that, if we start conforming, is it conforming? I don't know what's conforming, I'm not too sure. If we play by that book and we start changing our words a little bit, we start being less critique and a little bit more positive and vague, that'll be enough for them to just go in and just, yeah, we'll take more of that. We'll take more of your fucking rights to critique. We'll just keep pushing you, and before you realize it, you look like a fucking Do you remember SpongeBob when he cleaned up his act and he became this smooth as sponge, like smooth as sponge, very monotone. Like there was no expression, there was no emotion. He just, that's gonna be us in the next couple of years if we don't do anything. Like for me personally, that's why I made my website omnigeekempire.com. It's a place for me to just say what I want to say. I've already checked the policy of the host that I'm with. They do support freedom of speech, but obviously I'm not gonna push my boundaries here now. I have a way of wording my things where it's not gonna get me like into desensitized, but yeah. They want censorship. I feel like people are understanding that they want censorship, but I don't. That's why I don't agree with YouTube so much anymore. A lot of people would say, "Oh, YouTube is not censoring people. They just want a safe haven for people to come and discuss and, you know, be safe for the kids." I mean, YouTube is not safe. Type in body paint on YouTube. Yeah, that's safe for you. If you type in body paint, I don't know why. I don't even know why I found body paint, but anyways, let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. I'm Pyros, and oh yeah, I need to keep saying this. If you enjoyed the video, like this video, and if you find my content interesting, then subscribe for more content, because there's gonna be more rolling out every single day. But anyways, I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.